You may be asking yourself, why is she outside? And why is she wearing sunglasses? Thank you for asking these questions. I'm outside because it's almost summer, and for some people, that means it's time to start their summer job. I'm going to spend the next few minutes investigating and analyzing the probability that a student at Cheney High School has a summer job. And now for a word on why any of this matters. I always had a summer job in high school and college, and it felt like it was fun, and I learned a lot. And I see the same for students who have a summer job. But some people have busy summers for other reasons, and they're doing other meaningful things like sports, family stuff, friend stuff, travel stuff. There's also been a lot of talk lately about schools switching to a balanced calendar, not as much of a long summer break. Let's hear from some real life Cheney High School students on the matter. Do you have a summer job?
Yes, I have a summer job. I'm a lifeguard.
Do you feel like most people your age have a summer job?
Yeah, I would say majority.
Have a summer job?
No.
Do you feel like most of your friends have a summer job?
I feel like it's pretty like split in half, or if they do, it's like a smaller job.
If you did have a summer job, what would you want?
Probably a lifeguard.
Now we're going to take a look at the theoretical probability of this event. And because it's not something that can be calculated mathematically, I looked into some sources here. So this first one is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And they're estimating that for this age range in July, we have about 59.5%. I think this is significantly higher than just for high school because this age range includes college and post college students. This study on USA Today, recent trends have a downtick in teenagers in the workforce in the summer, and they cite economic uncertainty and also automation or AI that's wiping out these jobs. Here we are on NPR, and they're telling us that about a third of teens are in the labor force. So this is definitely the metric that's closest to the question that I'm asking here. One third of teens in the labor force. This is Cascade PBS. Um, Same 1 in 3. Although most of these statistics are about the US or Washington as a whole, I'm going to roll with the theoretical probability that a student at Cheney High School has a summer job being 33% or 1/3. Now let's calculate the experimental probability. I gave a survey to Algebra 2 students. The question I was really looking at is, will you have a job this summer? And then asking what that job is. And for the purpose of this, I only counted those who already had a job lined up as high schoolers with a summer job. And see here, will you have a job this summer? Here is the 49.1% or a probability of 0.49 of Cheney High School students who have a job lined up for this summer. That was 27 out of the total 55 responses that I collected for this. The sampling method that I used for this was a convenience sample. I gave the survey to my Algebra 2 classes and my teaching partner's Algebra 2 classes, and those are just the people that are most in this group that are easiest for me to access. So that's called a convenience sample. There's also an element of this that is a cluster sample, this being a survey of 4 clustered groups of Algebra 2 students for different class periods. This sample is biased because it includes students enrolled in Algebra 2 only, and these students likely differ from the overall Cheney High School population in grade level, academic pathway, extracurricular participation, and thus likelihood of working during the summer. So the theoretical probability that I determined was 33%. The experimental probability was 41.9%. So these differ by 16.1 percentage points. And here are some reasons why this difference could exist. The first one, like I already said, the sample was not random. This was a biased sample. And also, Algebra 2 students are likely not representative of the entire Cheney High School population. Also, my theoretical probability calculations were not representative of only Cheney High School students. Also, this may point to employment opportunities for young people in Cheney being greater than in other parts of Washington state. I'm curious about how AI and automation are going to affect these percentages, these probabilities as we move forward. I'm also curious about how employment rates are going to change if more schools adopt a balanced calendar system and shorten summer breaks. Some limitations of this study, which I've already alluded to, are one, that I had a biased sample. It was convenience, not random. The sample size was 55, which isn't terribly small, but it's definitely a small sample size. And these things are due to time constraints. It's also worth noting that I gave this survey in a classroom setting where students may have been distracted or swayed by what their classmates were doing or saying near them. If I was going to do this again, I would get a random sample of students across all grade levels and classes. I would increase the sample size to include more of the student body. I think I would also more clearly define summer job with more specific wording to reduce interpretation differences. These results are meaningful because they give a snapshot into student life at Cheney High School. It was cool to get to see the summer jobs that different students line up. It helps me better understand how students are balancing school and work and responsibilities outside of the classroom. So, thank you for coming along with me in this investigation, and happy almost summer.